What, baby? Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. No, don't get upset. Don't get upset about. Do we need a nappy change? Do we need a nap change? I think we do. Should we go and change the nappy? Take two. Okay, so I'm back. Don't know how long this will last before we have to go again, but we'll see. If you can see Hudson's pseudocreme across his forehead, it's because somebody decided to scratch all the way across his eyebrow this morning. Eyebrows, both of them. So Mummy had to take his forehead in pseudocreme. He's not a happy bunny right now. What the matter? What the matter? Come on. He's not hungry. I've literally just fed him. So I don't know what the matter is, but I'm sure he'll be okay. He'll probably fall asleep in a minute. Okay, so maybe he was hungry, or maybe he just wants a comfort feed. Either way, he's feeding. And I'm here to talk to you today about my labour story. Now I'm going to try and do it as quick as I can to try and get through the full thing. I sincerely apologise if the screen is like too dark, too bright, whatever. I can't get my camera right now. I'm going to have to look into it a little bit more, so please bear with me. But anyway, let's get cracking into my labour story. So we will start with my sweeps. Obviously I was admitted to hospital at 32 weeks pregnant, and that was for tachycardia and fetal tachycardia. So obviously they were looking into my heart rate and everything like that. I was having all sorts of tests, and you know, it was an experience to say the least. But because of all of that having gone on, I, towards the end, was getting pretty worried about Hudson because his heart rate was going pretty wild and I was very concerned. There was obviously nothing to be concerned about. He was okay. Turns out he just does some funny breathing things and has hiccups a lot of the time, and probably has a fast heart rate like myself naturally. Obviously I felt comfier with the idea of him being here so we could look after him and see when he needed attention, rather than him being inside past 37 weeks when, you know, it was safe for him to be born. I discussed it with my doctors and we ended up having an induction at 39 weeks, but prior to that I was offered some sweeps. Now, I had a sweep every other day from a week before when I went in for my induction. So I started them on the Wednesday and then I had Hudson on the following Thursday. Now, I don't want to scare anyone with any of this, and I also understand that my experience of induction was very, very positive and that not everyone's the same. So please don't think that I am referring to anybody else's story other than my own. This is literally just what happened with our birthing story. I had 4 sweeps, all of which caused me to have false labour, basically. I was having contractions for a week, but the contractions were, after each sweep, building up and up and up, and you know, they were 3 minutes, 2 minutes apart, and they weren't that strong, but they were still pretty strong. So I didn't know what to do, because obviously I have quite a high pain threshold anyway because of my endometriosis, so I wasn't sure what labour contractions were meant to feel like. And obviously I was told that when they get that close together, you're to ring up. So I had to keep ringing them, discussing with them, and they were saying, no, stay at home until, you know, it's unbearable and you need to come in. So and that just kept happening. On the evening of every sweep, this same thing happened. Obviously after like the 3rd one, I got used to the fact and was just like, whatever, stay at home. I was taking everyone's advice to get labour going. I was walking loads. I was bounced on the ball loads. I was doing far too much for someone who's 38 weeks pregnant, and nothing was working. Obviously I lost my mucus plug. I'd been 1 to 2 centimetres dilated at the first sweep anyway, and following that I was 2 centimetres. Say, hey guys! Hey guys, it's Hudson! I just had a snack. Did you just have a snack? Oh no, you've got Mummy's lipstick on your head! Oh no! Uh-oh, look. Oh! Oh no! Mum life! Oh my goodness me. Well, that's just gone all over me. Well, that was eventful. I'm already covered. He is now on Gaviscon for this throwing up. He's obviously got pretty bad reflux, which his mummy does too, so it's no wonder. But I haven't nailed sorting the Gaviscon yet, especially when I'm on my own. Ben's very good at it, but I am not the best at assembling it. See, Hudson is breastfed, so I'm not even used to doing bottles, so sorting the Gaviscon is not something I'm used to yet. We've only just been given it, so we've got yet to figure that out properly. What's the matter? Haven't you done me again? I didn't even realise it was still recording. That's pretty cute. Right, so obviously after my sweeps I was dilated, I'd lost my mucus plug, I'd been contracting for a week, then I just finally accepted, you know what, clearly nothing's happening and I'm just going to have to wait for my induction. Obviously we were very close to Christmas at this point, so I was kind of just getting used to the idea in my head that I was going to be in hospital for Christmas Day, which didn't happen, thankfully. Not that it would have mattered, because obviously as long as he was born safely it wouldn't have mattered when he was born. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What, baby? What? Are you a bit uncomfy today? More to the point, when it comes to his birthday, I was just desperate for him to have his own birthday and for him to not be born on Christmas Day. Not for the fact of me being in hospital, because it wouldn't have mattered, but I mean, in hindsight it worked out perfectly that I did get to be at home for Christmas because of family matters. But don't get yourself upset, Robin. Yeah, so obviously I wouldn't have been bothered about having to be in hospital on Christmas Day. It was just the fact I wanted him to have his own birthday, because I mean, you know, Christmas Day being your birthday, you only then get one day a year, you don't get your special day. As much as you try and make it special, you know, it's still not quite the same. So I was just praying that he got his own day. So then, yeah, I went in for my sweep, which was booked in for the 23rd, and the day before that I decided, let's rest. You know, I accepted that the sweeps weren't going to do anything, and I just said, right, Robin, come on, instead of, you know, trying to walk, bounce, everything, just rest. Just switch off and just rest. Don't do anything and just let your body recuperate. Get lots of sleep and chillax. This is potentially your last day on your own. You know, this is probably the last day you'll spend at home on your own. Well, it is, because of you're about to go into hospital tomorrow to have a baby. You know, you're not coming home until he's here. So that was weird. You know, I had a bath and everything and it was all chillaxed. And I was still pretty anxious leading up to the induction, because first I didn't know how long it would take or what the process was going to be, but I also didn't know what time I had to go in, because I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but with our hospital you're just booked in on that day and you have to ring up in the morning, and if they have a space then they'll invite you in. If they don't have any beds, then they might tell you to ring back later on in the day, or they might ask you to come a different day or whatever. So I had set myself up for disappointment because obviously the sweeps had all been pretty disappointing. If you want me to do a video on the experience of those, then I'm more than happy to do that, but that's like a totally different story, so I can do that in another video, whether that's on YouTube or on TikTok or whatever. Just let me know, either in the comments or on messages or on a TikTok video, whatever. Also guys, please don't forget to subscribe below. It means the world to me. Your support obviously means so much to me, I can't even tell you. I went in for the sweep. Oh wait, no, I haven't even told you how I got there yet. So I'd obviously set myself up for disappointment. I then had to ring at like 8 o'clock in the morning or 8:30 or something like that. So I rang slightly before, just in case there was loads of people booked in, because I didn't know how many people I was going to be kind of fighting for a bed against. And obviously Ben was pretty eager. He didn't know whether to go into work or not. You know, it was all up in the air. So I fully thought I'd get told ring back at 1 o'clock kind of thing. But when I rang, the lady said, yeah, your COVID test was negative and we have a bed. So would you like to make your way down to the hospital? How long will you be? What time can you get here for? I'm there like, what? Obviously we'd packed bags and everything, but we just hadn't expected it. We'd fully set ourselves up for disappointment. So we were just in bed, chilling, not even dressed. We hadn't sorted the house out or anything like that. We were just like, whatever. So then she says that and we're like, okay, we can be there ASAP. We'll be there within the hour. So we run around the house like crazy. Ben sorts it out so he can be off work. And I then head down to the hospital. Such a weird feeling again, because you're thinking to yourself, we could literally be having a baby today, or it could be in days time, who knows. But it's that weird thought of, oh my goodness, I could literally be having a baby today. Wow. So obviously with it being so early on in the day as well, there was so much potential for that if I didn't have to have the pessary, which I didn't. When I got there, I was putting a bed on the ward and I was examined. The procedure was explained to me of having the pessary and everything before having waters broken, etc. But I didn't need the pessary because I was already 2 centimetres dilated. So the lady said, yeah, we can break your waters. I could have done it then, so I'm going to send you down to have them broken so we can just skip the 24-hour step and we'll just go to that. If you don't know what a pessary is, again, if you need me to explain, ask away and I will answer in another video, but I'm presuming probably if you're watching this, you're probably quite aware what all these things are because you're probably in the same boat or have been in the same boat, or you know someone who has, whatever. So if not, then let me know, because I didn't, you know, I wasn't really aware of these things until I came across that scenario. So then I was told they're going to ring down to the delivery suite, see how busy they are, and I would be sent down as soon as they had space. But some people in previous weeks had been waiting 5 days for that opportunity. The lady came back to me shortly after and said, now guys, all I'm going to say is make sure you've got your bags all ready to go and you've not, you know, made yourself comfy here. Just get everything packed up and ready to go down to the delivery suite because you're going to be going soon. I don't want to tell you a time. She's like umming and ahhing, looking at the clock like, I want to tell you you're going to be there by... No, I won't say just in case, but just make sure you're ready. So me and Ben are like, what? I'm literally going to have my waters broken in a matter of minutes or hours or whatever. So obviously, shortly after that, she came back in and said, come on guys. Oh, my food's here, 1 minute. Where were we up to? I had a disaster with my lunch. I tried making a pasty in the oven and it failed. I think I might have burnt not the pasty, it didn't cook. I don't know what went on with it. It really just didn't cook properly, so I couldn't eat it. But we have a protector panel, like a thin sheet that goes in the oven, like an oven sheet at the bottom, and the pasty had like dripped onto that, and that smelled like it burnt, but then the pasty itself didn't cook. Not really sure. I don't know if I put it on the wrong setting. Hudson was being sick on me and stuff, so I don't know what went on with that. So anyway, I ordered myself a Greg's tuna sandwich. We then picked up our bags and we're looking at each other like, oh my god, we're going to have a baby. And then it all felt so real because we were taken into delivery suite. So, you know, you're in a room, you're assigned a midwife, and the midwife starts hooking you up to the monitor to be monitored. And yeah, it all starts to feel very, very real. She then explains the procedure, has to run through, you know, all the, not confidentiality, what's the word? All your rights and everything like that to do with pain relief, etc. And she was brilliant. She was a brilliant midwife. It did change over. We had 2 midwives and obviously others came in towards the end to help out. But yeah, it changed over at 8 o'clock or something like that. And this midwife had been brilliant. She'd assigned Ben jobs, keeping him busy, and was just really listening to me. I told her I'm very sick very easily, so even though I hate injections, I'm gonna have to ask you for an anti-sickness injection because otherwise it's not gonna be pretty. I was still a tiny bit sick, but I had the injection. She was so good though, because I need stern, you know, I need someone to tell me what to do. Not someone to be like, well, what do you want to do? I need someone to be like, Robin, do it. So I hate needles, I hate injections, I hate blood tests, I hate everything that's to do with a needle, to be honest. But I've always had to have them so many times for so many reasons, and I don't know how I'm not used to it yet. Still got major anxiety around it, but I had some horrendous experiences with it during pregnancy, during late pregnancy, that had really set my anxiety off again, really bad with it. So I did not want to have that injection. I did not. But you know, she said to me, I understand you need to do your breath work, get your breathing right, and you've had a few minutes to do that now, Robin, so I'm going to ask you to jump out of that mindset. You're hyping yourself up, you're overthinking it, we're just going to get on with it, okay? 3, 2, 1, done. And I was like, that is what I need. You are brilliant. She was fantastic, honestly. I couldn't have sung her praises anymore. She was fantastic, that midwife. And then, yeah, that was done, and basically I had my waters broken. I don't know when that was. I don't think that was after my waters had been broken. Anyway, I had my waters broken at about 3:15 in the afternoon, and that felt weird. It was just like a trickle, and then obviously when I stood up there was a little whoosh, what's the word? I don't know. But not like loads, it was just bit by bit, and obviously I had a pad on, or on the bed I had a pad under me, so it just came out bit by bit. And I was given the option, do you want to, sorry I keep looking over there, the main road's over there and it really is distracting me. Oops. Yeah, I was given the option, do I want to go straight on the drip, which kind of forces your contractions, it releases oxytocin, if I'm correct, or do you want to try and kickstart labour naturally first, so you could have a couple of hours to walk around, bounce on the ball, all of that malarkey. I opted for that because I thought either way, you know, we're still on with it now, we're still in the thick of it, we're about to have a baby, so I may as well try and get things started naturally. Obviously at this point I was pretty much told you're having a baby either today or Christmas Eve, so I was like, come on, let's get him out, because obviously we wanted to be home for Christmas Day. Yeah, I walked around, bounced on the ball, all of that, nothing really moved any quicker. Just the same as the week I'd had, just contractions. They were only every like 10 minutes at this point as well. Not strong, just, yeah, I couldn't really keep on top of them. They were just not strong enough. So after the 2 hours, we agreed, right, let's go on the drip. As soon as I was on the drip, things got going very, very quickly. Let me tell you, it was speedy G. There was no in between from having like minor 10-minute contractions every 10 minutes, sorry, to having stronger contractions every couple of minutes at first. So as soon as I was on the drip, I was having contractions that built up every time, like a period at first, like a minor period at first, like a weak one, then towards endo pain, and then the contractions were at kind of endo pain level for a while. It felt quicker to me, but obviously for Ben it didn't. But they were getting really quick, so they were every couple of minutes for a good few hours, getting stronger and stronger. Then it got serious when that midwife was about to leave. I had only had paracetamol for a headache, and I kept just taking paracetamol at first. Obviously I had the gas and air as well, and I didn't want to take anything else. They were obviously trying to push because I then started to be in a lot more pain, but I didn't want it. I really didn't. Especially because I'm sick easily. I just wanted to stay away as much as I could because I knew gas and air would make me sick as it was. I had the 2 lots of paracetamol, one earlier on in the day and then one as active labour had started. Then when it got more serious, I agreed to have codeine, which didn't do anything. Like, it literally, I don't know why I even bothered having that, because it didn't even feel like it did a thing. It was a bit weird, really. After that, basically, I was like, can you please check what dilation I am, because this is serious now. Like, I could barely talk. I was having contractions every minute. I don't even, they might have been closer. It was not long in between my contractions whatsoever. They were horrendous. I was screaming. And yeah, it was weird because in between contractions you don't have pain. The pain that I had, it wasn't on the front. Like, I just barely had any pain on the front. That was like period pain, not even quite as bad maybe as my period pain, but it was the pressure in my back, you know, no, not even my back, my bum. Pressure in my bum. It felt horrid. It just felt like you really, really needed to go to the toilet. But obviously it gets stronger and stronger, but that's baby's head crowning. So I had said to them, look, I've only had paracetamol. I think that's when I agreed to have I had the codeine, then I think they checked my dilation and I was only 4 centimetres. So I was like, how on earth, after hours of these horrendous contractions being every minute, am I only 2 more centimetres dilated? That can't be right. What the hell? Like, maybe it is a lot worse than I thought. But then obviously things moved so quick after that. So that was why I then agreed to having the codeine. So I think I just had paracetamol, then they checked I was 4, so then I had codeine. I can't remember which way around that was. I either had that first, then had the 4 centimetre, being told I was 4 centimetres, or the other way around. I need to hurry up because my battery on my camera is going. Then I had Diamorph, I think it's called, because I was like, you know, I can't bear this anymore. I don't want an epidural as much as I can. I then had the Diamorph, and I've been saying for a while at this point I'm ready to push, but they wouldn't check, which is why I agreed to having the Diamorph. And I only had that literally just before I started pushing in the end, because I've been saying for ages, I'm ready, it's the pressure at my back. I said if I only had the hot water bottle, or I could have been in the birthing pool, I would have been fine, because it was just that pressure that I couldn't bear. So because I couldn't have a hot water bottle and I hadn't taken one with me, the midwife kept filling up the gloves, you know, the rubber gloves with hot water. So I was putting them on my back, but I was going to pop them. Like, I don't know how they didn't pop, but yeah, it was dramatic. That's what was happening. I can go into more depth if you want it, but I haven't really got time to keep going on about all the small details right now. If you want to know more, I can always do TikTok videos filling in the gaps. So yeah, that happened, and I kept saying, look, I need to push, but I don't want to push. She kept saying to me, just push. If you feel like you're ready, just do it. I was like, no, I can't, because I need to know that I'm actually dilated first, otherwise I will damage myself. Ben said I was all over the show, like I was out of it on the gas and air, and you know, I kept needing a wee, and because I was hooked up to the drip machine and the monitor, I was having to swivel off the bed and swivel back onto the bed, like moving the wires over my head to have a wee into a pot. Like, it was so lovely, and you know, TMI. So that was literally pretty much every other contraction. I kept needing a wee as well. It was not cool. And then after I gave birth, I weed so much, more than I've ever weed, I think, in my life. It was wild. But I had the diamorph because obviously they were refusing to check how dilated I was. Then not long after that, she said, let me just check the line on your back while you have a wee. So she checked, and you know the purple line that they say they can check, she said it's not 100% accurate, but I actually think you are 10 centimetres. I was like, thank you, I've been saying this for ages, can we get on with it now? Then I started pushing, and that was the hard bit. That was the hard bit because of, it's the ring of fire, it feels wrong. I felt like I was going to damage myself. I knew full well I was going to tear, I knew I was going to need stitches, and that was stopping me pushing the full extent. I was pushing throughout the whole contraction, then stopping the second the contraction finished, and it was so close to coming out for ages, and it just wasn't getting anywhere. Like, it was back and forth, it felt like, for a while. And then all the midwives kept coming in because I was obviously shouting a hell of a lot, and I was not taking the epidural or anything. All the midwives kept coming in going, she needs an epidural, give her an epidural, you know, she needs more medication, do something, or we're going to have to, you know, intervene basically, and either, I don't know, forceps or episiotomy or something like that. And they kept saying that apparently behind my back, because I was so out of it, I didn't know what they were saying. But Ben told me these things afterwards. This is what they were saying. They were like, 5 more minutes and we're doing it. People were coming in off the corridor going, you need to do something about that, like, she's like seriously needing something else. And I was like, no, I'm not having anything. I was like, just tell me what to do. I don't know, I just needed the right person, I think, to guide me through it. So eventually, when I was pushing, they brought in another midwife, and she's someone I'd seen in the maternity day unit before. She was fantastic, and she took one look at me and went, Robin, look in my eyes, which is again what I needed, the sternness. And I was like, no, I'm not looking in your eyes, you know, out of it on the gas and air, like my head's going everywhere. And Ben was like laughing apparently. Well, he wasn't laughing at the time, but he laughed afterwards. I was just out of it, and she's like, Robin, look me in the eyes. So eventually I just went, and she was like, right, we're going to try something. I was like, no, we're not. She was like, yes, we are. We're going to try something. You're going to breathe in through the gas and air, and then I'm going to pull it away from you, and then you're going to breathe out through your chest and push. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I need it. And she was like, no, we're doing it. I'm just going to pull it away. Let's go. Like, we'll do a practice one. Practice one. Like, what? There's no such thing as a practice one. You either do it or you don't. Like, so, you know, it was very clever, and she was fantastic. She was absolutely brilliant, and obviously that, once I got that bit of advice, eventually, after a couple more pushes, he was here, and honestly, that was the most crazy moment of my entire life. Wow. I can see it as clear as day. Honestly, it is so true what they say. All the pain and everything just gone. Gone. Absolutely disappears. It is so crazy. All I saw was this little head, and then it was out in one push eventually. So like his head and his body all came out in one go. He just kind of flew out, and he was just there in front of me, and I can just see it clear as day. The first time I set eyes on my baby boy, I'll never not be able to see it. I can just see, I was just like, wow. It's crazy because you're meeting your child for the first time. Oh my God, it's amazing. And obviously I knew I was going to have stitches, so when she then, you know, she puts him on my chest, I'm like, oh, happy birthday. Ben's absolutely bawling. I didn't actually cry that much at first, really. It hit me a few days later. I was just like, wow, I'm a mum. Kickstart into gear, let's go. And yeah, then she's checking me for whether I need stitches, and I was thinking in the back of my mind, I know full well I need stitches because that ring of fire was not okay. I was so tearing myself to get him out, but I had to do it. I thought to myself in the end, you know, I just thought either I'm going to tear myself or they're going to have to do it, and I just couldn't bear the idea. I know it's neater and everything, and, you know, maybe better if they do it, but I just couldn't bear the idea of it, just like I couldn't bear the idea of stitches. So that's what got me through. Then obviously I had to have the stitches, which took a hell of a lot longer than I thought. I thought it would be a case of being like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. No. If you want more on that experience, I can again do another video about that and about how he healed and everything, if you want me to do like a postpartum kind of video. But yeah, I had to have stitches, and during that time I was on the gas and air. Hudson's on my chest. I asked the midwife, can I feed him while you're doing it? And so I fed him, and then obviously he came off. He'd done a good feed. He came out sucking his thumb, which was crazy, so I just felt right to actually be feeding him. I had planned on combi, but we've ended up exclusively breastfeeding, because it just happened. It just felt right. He didn't want formula, and so yeah, he took the boob and he fed, and Ben was talking to me the whole time. It was just this most crazy time of my life, you know, almost 2 hours worth of having stitches. I'm on just gas and air, and just Ben's there crying, talking to me and our newborn baby, and it's just, we're just this close, you know, all of our heads this close for a good 2 hours, just in the moment. It was magical, absolutely magical. I mean, what wasn't magical was having to have an injection down below to numb. I was like, you're doing what? You're doing what? You are not injecting me down there. They're like, Robin, look what you've just been through. That is nothing. An injection down there is not. I was like, yeah, it is. I'm scared of injections. Don't do it. Anyway, she did that, and then obviously I didn't really feel. It actually kind of felt nice. It was kind of soothing in a weird way. It just felt like, almost like being tickled. That's pretty much all I could feel having stitches, other than when I then had to have the other injection, because I had to have two, because I had to have 2 lots of stitches. So yeah, other than that bit, the initial bit, that's a shock. Once the numbing stuff is working, it's magic. I just kind of felt like I was being, like, you know, someone's kind of tickling me like that, which yeah, wasn't bad, but obviously I stayed on the gas and air the whole time anyway, because I was just so anxious, which in between the 2 sets of stitches I needed a drink. But yeah, that is my labour story. It was brilliant. He was out in a day. He was born at 7 minutes past 9. The midwives actually said it was 9 minutes past, but Ben made sure he checked because the clock was dodgy in the room. So yeah, he checked, and also on the photographs, you know, he was already born before 9 minutes, because straight away we had photos taken the second he was on my chest, which was straight away. So yeah, he was born at 7 minutes past 11. I think I just said that wrong. So it wasn't 7 minutes past 9, what am I on about? 7 minutes past 11 on the 23rd of December 2021, and we were home by lunchtime. I thought it just died, so I'm just going to round it up. I will do another video if you would be interested in the experience just after I had birth, you know, that first night and everything like that, and the recovery. I'll do that as another video. Oh, I think it's not really focused right now, but yeah, born and home by lunchtime, Christmas Eve, and we had our first Christmas with our gorgeous newborn baby, Hudson Romeo Lucas. Absolute magic. He is the best thing ever. and he is currently keeping his whole entire family going because we've had a rough time of it recently, and he is really keeping us going. So if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. It really means the world to me, and I hope to see you soon. Love yous!